They left it, honey. All right. We got this pulled up. Can I get a chat pop up? Let's see if I can get a chat pop up. Pop out chat. There it is. Let's minimize this. And now we can kind of just get right into it. So I've got a lot of photos to kind of go through here today. I am going to be wrapping up some of these pictures from the Kaido event. So we got a lot to do. We got a lot to accomplish. I'm only going to be streaming for about an hour. I've got a meeting with some friends, so we're going to dive into it real quick. Though I'm going to run. I'm going to grab some food, or I'm going to grab my food from downstairs, and we'll get back to it. So 2 seconds. All right. Let's bring this down just a little bit. That way we can see our chat in case anybody pops in here. But as you see, this is where we're at and this is what we've got. So we've got a lot of work to do here. In terms of what my game plan is, I really wanted to focus in on this Supra today and then move it to the outside cars and kind of go from there. So, excuse me, I've yet to eat today. So let's just dive into it. I'm trying to think, okay, where I want to start. Start here. Crazy shot. Crazy shot. We're going to be able to do a lot with this. I'm going to crop this just a little bit more. Actually, no, I think I'm happy with that. I'm going to go into this. Let's mess with our light. We got the exposure up. We raised our shadows. I'm going to bring these highlights. No, I'm not going to bring my highlights down. I'm going to go in. I'm going to mess with some of these. I like how the white kind of brings out the teeth on the car. So we might bring this back up. Leave it there. I don't know about our blacks. I might bring that down a little bit because I like how that wheel in the back there looks. And then if we mess with our contrast, I'm not a fan of that. That's all preference. So we're going to go back. I'm kind of liking where this is at so far. I shouldn't really have to do a whole lot more here. I am going to come into my color mixer. I'm going to mess with my saturation on my colors here because there's so many colors and I really want to try and draw these colors out. So we got our red. If we bring this all the way up, it looks way too bright. So I always try to find a good medium to where my colors can pop. But also, if you look here at the hood, we've got some green hues here in the hood. So I'm going to go into the saturation here, and I'm going to pull this up. Okay, that makes that super vibrant. We don't want that. But if you see, it also caused some hue up in the ceiling or some saturation in the ceiling. We don't want that. So we're going to bring this back down. Might bring this up just a tad bit. We really want to pay attention to those lights up there, though. Let me see here. So I'm going to mess with our aquas. Let's see what that does. I think I like that. Pulls that out. Maybe we leave this here just a little bit. There's so many colors in this car. It's kind of tough to really decide where we want to go with it. If you're in here and you're watching, welcome. And make sure to leave me some chat so I can see them here. Chipotle's hot. Oh God. Let me see. What I need to do is go into my optics. I'm going to enable my lens correction and my chromatic aberrations. I'm going to denoise this because this was a pretty dark photo when I got it originally. So we're going to denoise that. And we'll wait for that to get done. It's a whole process here. Okay. So that wraps up. I think I'm going to go in and I'm just going to start my masking. So I'm going to do a linear gradient. So I'm going to push the attention to the car. Bring this up a little bit. We're going to subtract our subject. And we're going to bring this exposure down just a little bit. Nothing too crazy. Pushes the attention to the car. We'll focus on our ceiling here in a moment. But as of now, we're going to create a new mask. We're going to select our subject. As you see, it didn't do a great job there. So we're going to go in and we're going to subtract what we need to subtract with our brush. And then if I need to, I can re-add for the wing here in a moment. I just want to make sure that everything is pretty solid here. I don't know why that thinks that that's the subject. Bring that down. Bring that down. Bring that down. Okay. So there we have it. Look at this again. Just double check. Might undo that. Undo that. Cool. So now that we're in our mask, I'm going to mess around with some of my settings here. If I bring this up, what does this look like? It does give it a little bit of a glow. So I might bring that up just a tiny tad bit. Now I'm going to go into my contrast here. I might swing more towards just a little bit on the darker side. We're going to bring our highlights up now. We really want this car to pop. We really, really, really want this car to pop. So I'm going to bring my shadows up. As you can see, you can start to see a little bit of the details, but I'm going to bring my blacks back in. That way you can tell, okay, it's got details back there, but it's not overbearing. So I'm going to bring this back. Looking at our whites, I think it just, actually, I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Yeah, I don't hate that. I think I'm going to rock with this. You got the FD sitting back here. Beautiful, beautiful car. Where do I want this to go? Let's see what we can get for our landscapes. Oh, let's bring that down. Sorry, guys, I'm starving. Starving Marvin. Let's go to our curves here. So this messes with your highlights here. You can either bring some exposure to your highlights or you can take the exposure away. I'm going to add some in because, again, it's just really making that car pop. Not too much, though, because we want it to look natural, but still clean. This handles the brightness in our highlights versus the shadows here. Top of the point curve is shadows, bottom, or highlights, bottom is shadows. So I might, if I bring this down, you see it brings it a little darker. I kind of like this here. Mid is our midtones. I'm not going to touch our midtones just yet because I kind of want to see where my shadows land. I think that brings a natural look back to the photo. This curve here, you can mess with this as you see fit. I think, like, as you see here with the midtones, you can shift this either way. But I think I like how this is kind of forming here. You can see the details in the hood. You can see the gloss in the paint. You can see everything. So I think I'm going to leave this as it is. And then I'm just going to go over here to my effects. I'm going to bring some texture into this. Just a tad bit, maybe just a tad bit clarity. And do we need some DAs? I don't think we do. So to check and see what we did here, use our eyeball. Just brings a little bit more definition to the car. Just a little bit more, but you can also see here in this light, we've got some saturation going on with the lights. So we've got to try to find a way to fix this. I'm not entirely sure what that looks like yet, but we've identified it. We know it's there. We're going to focus on that in a moment. So let's go to our linear gradients. We're going to pull this down just a little bit. And we're going to bring this exposure down. We're going to see what that looks like. So you still get the lights, still brings the darkness down, still pushes your eyes to the car. I think I'm rocking with that. So I think we kind of just let this sit that way. That puts us in a really good spot with this car. Now we need to focus on how we're going to get this these lights here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new mask. I'm going to do a brush. I'm going to make sure my brush is nice and small, and I'm going to focus on adding this in here. I'm going to cover the light, because what we're going to do is we're going to pull some saturation out of that light. Just that spot there. So I'm going to go over here to my colors, color, and if you pull saturation all the way out of that, boom, you got that rainbow that was sitting in that headlight, it's gone. So it's just little things and small little details like that where, okay, cool. I know I can do these things and I can correct the course. So I think I'm happy with where this is. I want to go into my color grading, and we're going to try and find us a color grade here that really sets the tone here. With it being in a building, normally when we're outside, like I always like to do a deep blue on the shadows, but I don't know if I want to do that today. I might do a little bit of a lighter blue here, get us a little bit of a hue, just an ever so subtle one. Because as you see, as you continue to add it, it brings in the shadows. We don't want to do that too much. I think I'm cool with a 14 there. And then with our highlights, we really want to think about what colors we have here. So we can try and start off with a little bit of yellow and see where we go. I'm not liking how that looks in the car here, but I'm also seeing this yellow here. Now, there's a way to combat this, okay? I'm going to show you how I do it. Because I don't like how that yellow looks in the car. I think it takes away from the overall structure of the car. If you're in here and you're watching, again, you leave a comment, engage with me in the chat. I can see it. I want to talk to you. Ask me some questions. I want to do what I can to teach people how I've kind of learned so quickly within the photography world. And I just want to show what I know. I'm not a professional by any means, but I definitely feel like I can teach a little bit. So I'm going to pull this back just a little bit on the cooler side. And then this is where we're at. Changes the overall vibe of the photo just a little bit. This is no color grading. This is with color grade. No color grading. This is with color grade. I don't know. I almost feel like I don't need to color grade this photo. I think we won't. I think I'm happy with how it is without it. I think I'm happy with how this is without it. How you guys feel, chat? Should we color grade it? Do you think we should put some the blues in there? No? Okay. Well, let's go back to our color mixer. I'm going to pull this yellow all the way out. That's now out of the car. So now we have a little bit of a subtleness. One thing I am going to do, I'm going to push that blue up back there on that FD. Oh, I had to eat. All right, back to work. So we got the super done. I think I'm happy with this. I think I'm gonna copy these edits, and we're gonna sift through our images here. And we're gonna see what else is Supra. This is almost a purple. Oh, let's go back. Boom. Get rid of that. Let's paste our settings. Ooh, almost got banned. Caught myself. All right. So we already started with the Supra. We've already kind of got our layout. Now we're just pasting our settings from that because we've already kind of created our preset, and we're just gonna adjust it as need be. When we get done, we're gonna upload these photos into Photoshop. I got a couple things that I need to remove. Our settings from the old photo are not going to work, so we're going to just kind of go in and adjust this as needed. So we'll always start off, and we're gonna make sure that lens correction is good. Boom. I think with this one, we need to bring our exposure down a little bit. We're gonna mess with our contrast here. I like it. We can bring our highlights down. As you see here, we got some of that saturation here in the headlights. We're gonna have to pull that out again. We lifted our shadows a little too much for this one. We go here, bring our whites up a little bit. The whites in this car are immaculate. And I think I'm gonna bring my blacks down just a little bit. Kind of same thing here. So we've kind of already got our baseline. We've got our red. We've got our orange. Focus on any yellows. I'm pulling them out. They're already out. We have some greens here. I might probably bring this back down just a little. We got our aquas. What happens if we pull that all the way out? Nope, we don't want that. This car has so many hues. If I bring this back down. Hey, babe. Will you hop in my YouTube and tell me if I'm like not seeing chats? I said I had a couple viewers, but I don't know. All right, we're gonna go here. We're gonna start with our linear gradient. Boom. I'm going to subtract my subject. And then we're just going to, here, light, exposure, bring that down just a little bit and bring the highlight down. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. Honey, it's Marshall's POV, babe. We got that in there. Bring these shadows down just a little bit. Bring some whites out of the ground. Boom. Okay. So now let's grab our subject. Remove brush. We're gonna bring our brush up just a little bit. Now, when I was doing this on my phone, or not my phone, on my iPad, the sheer difference in quality compared to the iPad, the computer compared to iPad, the Mac, it just clears. It is a completely different experience. The Mac versus the iPad, you just have so many more capabilities, and I feel like my images just come out that much more sharp on the Mac. So I would recommend, if you're doing mobile editing, it works and it's good. But if you can hop on Facebook Marketplace, if money is tight, and try to find yourself a Mac Mini, try to find yourself a cost-effective, whatever is within your realm, some sort of computer, even a MacBook, an older MacBook. I would definitely try to stay away from the Intel MacBooks, but you know, whatever it is that you can grab within your means, grab it and use Lightroom and Photoshop for the desktop. It will be a game changer for you when it comes down to editing your photos and putting your touch on it. You have so much more creative capabilities on here, and I will stand on that hill until I can't anymore. Anyways, back to this. So I'm going to bring this car down just a little bit. I'm going to bring my contrast up just a little bit more. And then I'm going to pull these highlights up because I'm trying to get this car to pop, and it already is. I don't want my shadows too deep, but we have some room to spare because we can still see our front bumper here. I don't know. Maybe I bring that back up. Yep. And I go with the flow. I go with whatever I'm feeling in that moment. I don't have like a set, like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. I just don't. I kind of go with how I'm feeling in that moment, and I just adjust it, and to my liking. If people like it, then bet. If not, it is what it is. I think I want to bring this exposure down just a little bit, and then in our highlights, let's see what we do when we push up. Oh, this is popping. Oh, this looks so good. That's so crazy. That looks phenomenal. I'm gonna drop my point curve here. I'm gonna go into my effects. I might add just a little bit of texture here, maybe just a little bit of clarity. What's that look like when we remove it? It just gives us that nice, clean feel to it. I think I'm happy with this. I don't want to overdo this photo. I really feel like the car is popping here. I really want to try to focus on just getting these lights down just a little bit because I feel like it takes away from the image. So I go here, just exposure, bring that down. It pushes us to the car. We've still got our lights. And here we are. We've got another one. Chat, we did it again. It looks phenomenal. I'm super proud of this. Okay, so we're going to get out of our masks here. Go back. We're going to make sure that we got our denoise on. We got our denoise on. The only other thing that we're missing is we just need to do our small little desaturation here of this headlight. That's it. We're going to go here to our color, and we're going to desaturate the headlight. Here you go. That takes away that rainbow out of the headlight. And I'm going to show you where we started. We started here. Yes, I can see that, honey. Okay. All right. Oh, no, we don't need that. What did I just hit? Okay. This is where we started. This is where we're at. This is where we started. And this is where we're at. And if you want to see how to take photos from very bland, very dry, raw photos to this, just follow me. I'm telling you, I will teach you, I will go live, and I will show you my entire editing process. I'm not trying to sell you presets. I'm not trying to get you to buy a course from me. I just want to show you guys what's possible and how I did it. So this is an edit. This is where we're at. Some people may love it. Some people may hate it. I'm proud of it. So I'm going to move on. I'm going to even copy my settings on this one. And we're going to move over to this here. Now, this is a good detail shot. What I'm not a fan of is if you see here, my composition is not great. Okay. When you look at this photo, why would I say my composition is not great? The back bumper is kind of cut off where that diffuser hits. So I might be able to use this. I might just go ahead and paste my edit settings here, but I think for the most part, we're really just going to have to come back and try to run over this or try to go back and see what we have in terms of other photos that we might be able to edit. Honey, are you still in here? Huh? Type in the chat. I like that. We'll come back to this. What is that? That's my #1 fan, Brianna. Baby girl. All right. We're going to paste our settings on this. This is a good detail shot. Normally I start my detail shots from scratch. I want to see how the edit settings from the last couple photos I did kind of fares on this. And then we will go ahead and undo it if we're not a fan. So sorry. All right. That was way too dark. So we're going to undo this and we're going to start from scratch. Cool. So I want to go into this with an open mind here. If I pull the exposure up, again, this is a very, very unique detail shot here. Okay. So when we think about that, the main objective here is to just get the details that are inside of the paint and the etchings on the tail light to show as much as we possibly can. So if I bring these highlights down, that brings that there. We're going to lift our shadows up just a little bit because, again, we want to see these details. Okay. Now, we might bring our whites up too. No. Yep, just a little bit because it helps with our paint here. Okay. And then we can bring our blacks back in just a tad bit. Now, I'm going to go in, I'm going to enable my lens correction and remove the chromatic aberration, and I'm going to denoise this photo. A lot of this stuff here, when it comes down to editing photos, it's just believing in the process and trusting yourself. Because I feel like a lot of the times, like we get caught up in like, oh, I don't want this to look too bad, or I don't want this to, you know, I don't want to mess up, or I don't want people to judge it. Like, make the mistake. Do you know how many photos I edited and posted that I look back now and I'm like, Go back to the beginning of my Instagram. I was just looking through it with my girlfriend today, and I'm like, this these photos that I posted are not great, and this is why, and this is why, and this is why. But the thing is there's nothing wrong. Okay, so we're gonna bring this texture up a little bit. Maybe bring in just a little tiny bit of clarity. Maybe de-haze it a little bit. I think I'm cool with that. I don't want to bring any grain into this. I really would just want to show the detail on this shot. I don't need the mask. I don't need to do anything. I really just want to go to my color wheel here, adjust my colors, bring the red out of that tail light. That red's out. We might be able to even make our purple pop a little bit more. Are there any other hues that I'm seeing here? Maybe our green, just a little tiny tad bit more. Man, there's so many colors that are in this car that it's hard to just like pick just one to just really try to focus on. I don't think I really need to do much more here. I'm going to go into my landscape. I'm going to do my artificial ground here. I'm going to create this. I'm going to bring this exposure down just a tad bit. And I think that wraps that photo up. I think I'm happy with how that turned out. Again, we're not going to go overboard. This is just a detail shot. We're just trying to show the detail on the car, and that is it. So let me go here. We'll kind of sift through what else we have. Same thing on this one. So I'm for sure going to be able to reuse the settings that I used on this shot here. So we're going to just paste. What do you mean? I'm going to copy my edit settings. I'm going to go into it. Did I have a mask already? Ew. Paste. Oh, I'm copying a mask. I did a mask on this. Oh, yeah, I did. Let's go back, unselect our mask. Oh. Okay. Copy. Do we have a mask on this? No. Then we paste our edit settings. There we go. All right. So I think I'm about to wrap up this stream here. I've got a pretty jam-packed day. I'm trying to get prepared for Gatlinburg. I've got a lot to accomplish. I've got some delivery of some photos that I need to complete. I figured I would go live on here and I will come on for just a little bit. I'm going to continue to try to keep the streaming schedule up. I want it to engage with you guys as much as I possibly can. So I will post when I'm going to be live next on my stories as usual, and we'll have to spin the block on it. But either way, thank you guys for checking me out and spending that time with me today. And I hope that you guys all have a solid day today. Cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh. I appreciate you guys and have a wonderful day.